What a good week it's been. Has it not been, Rod?
It's been good. It's been busy.
Good. I was thinking about how I went back and I was pulling the transcripts from all of our videos for a project I'm working on, and I realized that every live Q&A, I'm like, what's going on, everybody? Or welcome. And I had to start with something different today. So
that was nice. That was refreshing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that new trend, something different.
Welcome in, everybody.
It's just two. Yeah. But on that note, welcome in, everybody. Excited to chat today. This one's gonna be so there's no guests. I know we've had guests like back to back for like, I don't know, 8 weeks or something. This is going to be normal Q&A format, but specifically oriented around helping you kind of get that first shoot booked, or your next shoot if you have a few clients, helping you actually like get momentum and move forward with that. And so we'll obviously answer questions that are all over the place, but I'd really like to invite those of you that are either newer to the lives, and maybe this is your first time on here. First of all, comment if this is your first time on a live. We'd love to welcome you in. But also those that have been on the lives for a while and just you, without dissing you, you haven't made any progress in your business yet. And that's not why we do these. Like, we don't just want you to come here and listen to us talk. As much as we appreciate it, we'd like you to get paid from listening to us talk, if that makes sense. And so on that note, that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, we should kick it off with some wins. So
yes,
comment some wins from this week in your business, whether it was your first shoot, your first 10K month. Maybe someone got their first 100K month in here. You never know. Comment in.
Carlos, this might not sound like it, but that sounds like a win to me. You got Spiro set up, and now it's the aftermath of the overwhelm. But hey, it's still a win, I think. Got to set up. Okay, I'm being too optimistic now. Okay, sorry.
Carlos, we'll circle back and answer that one specifically in a minute.
This win with Jay. Look at this.
Jay said, Eli and crew, huge fan of the channel. Just did my first free shoot today for someone not family. Instagram reach out. Big thanks to the courage these videos gave me. Only 6 DMs and someone already responded. Jay, very nice. Congrats. The first, when I first started my business, someone basically had told me they used the phrasing, so it begins. And I don't know why it stuck with me, but that was what happened. So it began, and that 1 becomes 2, and 2 becomes 10 before
so
you know
begins.
it. So it begins. So congrats. Yeah, it's one of my few poetic statements that I'll remember.
This is a win for Andrew on our team. Shout out Andrew. There we go.
Andrew, I'm glad you had a good chat with him, Lena.
Thank you for
Nick, there's a win. Hired my first photographer today. Also, first of all, we have a bunch of new faces, a lot of first timers on the live. So glad you guys could all make it out. And Nick, back to you. That's a big move. Do you have you started them already? How are you feeling about the process of getting to integrate them with your clients and that sort of thing? All right, let's see.
Made a nice video for a client, realizing how much a market there is for realtor social media. Oh, come on now.
Nice, Benjamin. Stan, hello. He said, here's a question I had when I started. Oh, thanks for that, Stan. How many people do I need to reach out to before I book my first client? 1, 10, or 100? That is a really
like how halfway through you realize that wasn't like that was a self question he asked himself, and it was good advice. But I thought it was a question too. Like Stan was asking a question as well, right?
I didn't pre-read the question. Sometimes that gets me in trouble, but this time I didn't. Okay, so the answer is it depends, and I hate answers like that. But I'll clarify so that it gives everybody some more clarity, and I appreciate the question, Stan. For some people, I mean, the person above, who was it? I just want to say their name now that I'm remembering them. Jay. Okay, or no, it was Jay, but it was a different question from Jay. Either way, it was basically,
go ahead. I'll find
it. Yeah, it was 6 they had reached out to and got a response. That's fast. It doesn't normally happen that fast. It would also be very strange for you to reach out to 100 and not get a response. And so the amount depends, but the big picture thing you want to look at is you want to see a 10% interested rate. And interested is going to be like, yeah, maybe in the future, or yes, lump that all in. So if you send 100 messages and it doesn't happen on day one, the data has to age, so to speak. So like over the next couple months, if you send 100 messages, you're probably going to get about 10 replies if you're doing things right. And that's the math you want to kind of bank on, so to speak. That doesn't mean you'll convert all of them to shoots. And it doesn't mean when you do a shoot for them, they'll hire you back. You have to learn a lot of stuff and do a lot of stuff in between to make that actually happen, right? So it's like, if you reach out to 100 clients, just to give some practical examples, if you reach out to 100 clients and 10 say yes, and you do 10 shoots, but you're rude at every shoot, like that's probably going to impact your thing a lot. Or you deliver just terrible photos, or your systems aren't good. So it is a simple math problem. There's steps every part of the way. And the way you know if it's working or not, it's just by looking at the numbers. It's like, where's the problem? Where's the leak, right? So it's like, okay, you sent 100 messages. There's no leak there. You did the volume. plenty of people will be like, Eli, I've only gotten one reply from 3 months of Instagram method. And I'm like, oh yeah, so how many messages you send? And they're like, 4. I'm like, found the leak. There's only, the volume's not there, right? So it's like, okay, maybe the volume is there and you've done 100 and then you got 4 replies over the last 3 months. What's going on? We'll look in there. Maybe the leak is that the message you sent is terrible. Maybe you spammed everybody the same message, or maybe you didn't send a video with your message, or maybe
it's coming off. Sometimes people will say things and they're so sure it's normal, but it'll come across not the way we intended. Sometimes that could be it too, a lot.
But how you figure it out is by looking where the drop off is, right? If you're like, Eli said 10 out of 100 and you're only getting 2, like it's something before the message. It's not that you're not great at shoots. It's just you haven't had enough chance at shoots. Then you fix it, right? You get 10 saying yes, and then you start doing shoots and no one's rebooking you. And it's like, why are they not rebooking me? Well, maybe there's something wrong in that process. And it's cool because you can, that's what trial and error looks like, right? That's how you figure out how to build a business. I mean, you know, shameless plug, you can do coaching, will help you figure that out. But independent of that, that's how you figure it out, right? Is you do trial and error. But even if you don't know what you're doing, you can isolate that way. It just takes a while. Okay, let's see.
There's a win from Joanne. Come on now, Joanne.
Joanne said, so you're aiming at me. Hi, Eli. Got my first, well, first of all, hi, Joanne. Second of all, got my first yes this week with the local builder who will let me come in and shoot portfolio shots. Joanne, very nice. Are you nervous, excited? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I got nervous thinking about it, so don't listen to me.
No pressure, Joanne, but you made Rod nervous. Mike said, had my first 3 shoot day, first $1,600 week. Still haven't gone full time and gave one presentation in the middle of February that fueled those wins full time soon. Mike, congrats. What is that run rate? That's like that's over a $6,000 run rate. 1,600 times 4.25. Why is my calculator not working? It only doesn't work when I need it to work. I just got to see what that actually is. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Okay.
Don't be nervous, Joanne. I was just kidding.
$6,800 run rate. Yeah, you got this, Joanne.
I'm just naturally nervous. Don't listen to me.
Cindy said, not first time, bought stuff a while ago and then got scared for different reasons. Took full-time job and about to be off for summer and circling back to think about this. Nice, Cindy. Yeah, I would say, you know, even if you find that in the summer you get busy with a bunch of stuff and you go back to the job and, you know, when you're back from the summer or whatever, like really look at this as something that you don't have to do full-time to make successful at the start. I would say it's almost better to just be consistent about devoting even 30 minutes or an hour a day to it than it would be to, if you find this to be true, if you find the summer passes and you're still not where you want to be, like get consistent, because consistency is what builds the business 100%. I think there's this quote I like, and I'm trying to remember it as I say it, but I'll get the concept out, which is like, you don't fear the person who does 100 kicks in one day. This is like from a picture, like a, I don't know, like a jiu-jitsu thing, right? You don't fear the person who does 100 kicks in one day. You fear the person who's done 1 kick a day for 100 days, because that person it's just like how you can't work out super hard one day and get buff the next, like it's consistency. And so I would say and this is not me criticizing your strategy. It's awesome that you have the summer, go for it. I'm just expanding big picture for what I see a lot of people do wrong is they'll approach with a super high level of conviction and motivation and energy. And they'll do like Eli says, do the Instagram method. I'm gonna do 1,000 messages this week. And they start doing that and they don't get any instant results because it takes a second to get the results. And they just burn out and they're like, that was terrible. I'm never gonna do that again, right? And it's like, it would have been better to do 10 messages a day and just never stop until you get the success you want. And it's easier. I think humans are very like, you know, carrot stick prone. And so if we get a carrot from something, we do it again. And if we get a stick from something, we don't do it again. And so you kind of give yourself a stick, so to speak, if you just batch a ton all at once and then lose the energy, because the results come over time. So just something to consider. It's very much consistency that will make people success. I mean, I always reference like growing my business, Norman and Young. I would say most people in coaching grew faster than I grew those first 6 months. Like it'd be a shock if they didn't actually. And it's like, well, why is my business doing well now? It's like, well, 1, I didn't have coaching, but 2, I was just really consistent. I stuck with it. And so if you stick with something, there's a high chance of success. Now, if you combine that with being smarter than I was, and this is not just saying you have to do our coaching or whatever, but I wasn't reading audiobooks. I wasn't listening to podcasts. I wasn't on stuff like this. I was fully in, you know, trial and error mode, and it was really silly. And so anyway, that was the monologue on consistency. Rod, your turn to say something. Pick a question, sir. Oh, you're muted.
My phone started ringing. All right. How about this one?
Nathan said, what would you do differently if you're starting today in a high demand market with minimal living expenses? Well, that sounds like an awesome setup.
Kinda.
Yeah. So
Right into
first of
our
all,
topic.
nice. Good launch pad. I mean, regardless of the market I was in and the living expenses, I think my approach would roughly be the same. It would be as much volume of client outreach as I could stand. And I could stand to do consistently, right? And so for me, it'd be a lot of, I would have different belief than I did back then, or than you do in this hypothetical scenario. Like, I know real estate media is a real business. I know it's going to work because I've done it. Whereas someone just starting, they're oftentimes a little bit 1 foot in because they're like, I don't know if this is going to work yet. But anyway, without clients, you don't have a company. And so the most important thing you can optimize for is not more practice with your drone, not more practice shooting, not more practice playing with Spiro. It's getting a client on your calendar and booked, because we want to optimize for what we actually want in our business to spend the most time doing that. We want clients. So I guess simply put, you want to become the best known photographer in your area. And you don't do that by posting a ton on Instagram. It helps. You do that by just reaching out one-on-one to as many agents as you can get your hand on. Because the best photographer doesn't win. It's the best known. It doesn't mean you have to get famous. I'm not talking about becoming like an Instagram influencer. I'm talking about picking up the phone, whether that means to physically call somebody or to message them. Like, it's that is going to make you successful.
And doing what works right now, I imagine, to a bit, right?
Yeah.
Competitors will surpass us if we don't just stay having that modern edge, or that what's working now edge. Someone else will surpass. What worked 2 years ago doesn't necessarily work right now.
Yeah.
Strategies that worked, might not work as well, and vice versa. So it's just about, staying in tune, staying on top of it, as well. So
I agree.
All right, where am I at? I lost my place. If you've beat me, that's fine.
I don't know if I'm at the same place you are, but I found this one.
All right, you beat me to one. Nice.
Got hooked up with a shoot for a guy who has 8 Airbnbs, complete first one. He's stoked with the product we provided. Congrats. That's awesome. So you have 7 more to go, it sounds like.
There was a good... Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that one, Rod. I like this. How do you recommend getting a website built? So I recommend not building a website. And I know that sounds crazy, but how we recommend doing it is you build an Instagram account. And if you want to know, your Instagram is going to serve as your website, basically. It's like your 24/7 salesperson. So what you want to do is to figure out how to build that Instagram and what the grid should look like and everything like that. Go to the lives tab here on YouTube and just search profile critique. I've done like 2 or 3 of them live. We'll probably do another one coming up soon, but it will show you how to set up your Instagram. And then in your Instagram, the order form link is going to be, it's your website basically, but it's Spiro. So it's a platform for real estate photographers to run their business, and it's free to set up. It's really nice. It's $5 a project when you deliver a shoot, but you can build out the account and it has your pricing on there. So like the Instagram account plus the Spiro, those two connected make up what the website would normally do. So you don't need to build a website at all. I would skip that part. Let's see.
At first, I thought it meant general, but I think Lena's asking, like, how did you get introduced to real estate media? And I don't know if I know that off the top of my head, which is sad to say. I know when you were, 16, but I don't know how you got introduced to it. So I feel like
I don't go around like telling people that story a lot because it's just like very boring. But basically, I
it up a little bit.
I'll make it sound good. It's like, people that they want to like write a book or do something like that, and they redo their origin story. I haven't redone mine. This is the boring version, right? So my mom, when my family moved from Alaska to Texas, I was like 15 at the time, 15 and a half or whatever. And that's an important detail in a second. I normally don't measure
far, it sounds kind of cool. Going from Alaska to Texas.
Years. That's not a cool transition. That's like a reverse cool transition, right? But I skied in Alaska, and I did freestyle skiing. So it was like jumps and rails and stuff. And so when you're 15, 14, 13 and doing that, you lie about stuff you did. You're like, oh, I did a backflip. And everybody's like, sure. So I became the guy that filmed stuff so you could prove you did it to the group, right? So anyway, I had that camera. When we moved to Texas, there was no snow, obviously. And I was, that was like what I just played with. My mom was a real estate agent for about 6 months. And she went to her broker asked her to go shoot a house for her with her cell phone, because that's what they did at the time. And I was with my mom, and I was like, I'll just take it on my cell phone. And so I did. And then the agent was like, hey, can you do a few more? And I did 4 for her, like within the next couple of days. And I charged $60. Good stuff, Yeah. Sorry. Don't charge $60.
I literally just like zoned out there a little bit. Say it again. I'm just kidding. It was so
I was like, I'm not. That was a one-time opportunity. Okay. Let's see.
No, that's cool, man. I don't know why I didn't know that. Scott Stone said said his mom Scott knew that, and I didn't. That's sad. That ain't good.
We're at an AK. I was in Anchorage. I was in Boring, Alaska. I skied in Girdwood all the time at Alyeska. That was my place. All right, let's see.
It's a cool win from Jonathan.
Started seeing Instagram messages last month, and I booked started sending Instagram messages last month, and I booked 4 shoots. Nice, Jonathan. You getting paid for those yet? Are they coming to be repeat clients, or how's that going? Okay. Had a 3K month last month, but feeling a little dry in May. What are the actions needed to pick back up? Yeah, I mean, without
first of all, is that Adam Wilson? Adam, is that you, the Adam that I spoke to? Because that's like, hell yeah, on the $3,000 month. If so,
I thought you were about to say, Adam, is that you, Adam? I'm like, well,
Adam, is
yes.
that you? That's awesome, man. Nice.
So, Adam, it depends on what your trajectory has been so far. I think there's 2 things to look at. So, one is like, if you actually feel like your business is going the wrong way and a lot of your clients were like one and done clients, look at your experience and see if it's repeat that's not happening. My guess is it's number 2, which is when you're newer and you're starting, it's just a lot more up and down. You'll have 2 busy weeks and 2 slow weeks and 2 crazy weeks and 2 dead weeks. And so May can be an interesting month. You know, you have people getting out of school, depending on the area. It can be a little, you know, can fluctuate a little bit. So you would do the same things that you do even if you hadn't started yet, which is just get more clients, because that's how you solve the inconsistency problem. The bigger your business gets, it's way more consistent when you start doing 15K a month. It's like you'll fluctuate between 12 and 20, but it's like you're always doing shoots. And so if you have some more context, I'd be happy to answer with like more detail, but that'd be my recommendation. But yeah, congrats on that. That's awesome.
And that is the Adam I spoke to.
Rod, you have an incredible memory, I will say.
Well, Adam was memorable.
Let's test the memory. Let's test the memory, because I remember.
Don't test it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Swing for the Ring. I remember they said their actual name. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Swing for the Ring. What is your name? I can't remember. I remember. I hate that I can't remember it. I can't. But that's a badass win. Congrats on your last month.
Congrats, yeah.
Swing. What does it start with? Maybe let me guess a little bit or something.
Let's see. Oh,
nice. Airbnb clients. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We just fought over one.
That's okay. I'll answer this one first.
Gene, I saw Gene. I got excited. Yeah. What's up, Gene?
So Airbnb clients can be a little bit tougher because, big picture, one of the things that makes real estate media, in my opinion, awesome is that we know who our clients are. So, you know, for example, like, let's just say, not to bash the portrait photographers out there, but it's like, if I ask a portrait photographer right now, if Rod's a portrait photographer, I'm like, hey, Rod, who are your clients? You're going to be like, well, they're people that need portraits. They're humans. It's like, there's not that many categories you can niche them down into. But with the real estate agent, it's like, well, I know who they are, right? And they're easy to find. So you ask me who our clients are. Normally, I'm like real estate agents in the DFW area. So I just limited this geographic scope and then the job title. And the cool thing is you can search and find real estate agents. And so that's what I love about real estate photography. You can't quite do that with Airbnb clients. So in my opinion, they're not worth necessarily directly targeting. You could go to local investor meetups. You could run ads if you wanted. You could ask people that know Airbnb people because they know other, investors typically, but it's just not as straightforward as real estate agents. So typically what happens is if you start with real estate agents, you will just happen into Airbnb clients. You'll shoot for someone that was listing a property and they know someone that does Airbnb, and then you get more connected that way. So my approach is don't go looking for the Airbnb clients unless you're just in an area with only Airbnbs. Go for the realtors and you'll find the Airbnbs. Oh, nice, Adam. So it was your first paid month and you did 3K, had 32 shoots in April. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how dead May is. Is it 0? Is it $1,000? But yeah, I mean, it's likely just kind of
test you in the beginning, won't it?
It will test you. It's very mental because you're like, what happened to my business?
You just keep. So sometimes I'll notice when the fluctuation happens, we kill it and then it goes down. There very well could be things that we need to do, but a lot of times people either get frustrated, and it's not to say you are, Adam, but I'm just going through the list, but they'll get frustrated and that'll come across in different ways to agents in their customer service and in a lot of different ways, or they'll start changing things.
Mm-hmm.
let me change this and this and this. And although as a phase, now we're changing and prolonging that almost instead of just staying firm and just rocking through it. So a lot of times it's just like we can overcorrect a little bit sometimes instead of just keep doing what's working. It's going to hit. It just takes sometimes a little bit to hit. So I think you're right there, Adam. I think if you just keep rocking with it, I think it's only going to go up, but it's going to test you a few times like it is right now.
I think
it's at 1,000. You might catch up the second half. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, you're on track.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
You'd
be surprised. We'll put it out there that your next 2 weeks will be prosperous. How about that?
It reminds me of what you said. I absolutely agree with Rod, but there's in one of Hormozi's books called $100 Million Leads, which is great for anybody just starting. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. But it opens and the first page says guiding principles. And you expect this long list of principles, right? And it literally just says, do more. And I think like I'm picturing him having fun trying to think like, all right, everybody has all this stuff. How can I, because he's very about simplicity and trying to like, break it down to the core. And I'm picturing him coming up with do more because I think it's so, when it comes to getting clients, it is truly that. It's just do more. He said in a podcast recently, it's like his advice to someone would be to do so much, it would be unreasonable for you to be unsuccessful. And so I think that message very much applies to client acquisition. Like it's just do more. And why that's hard is because number one, you don't want to do more if you're not seeing instant results because you feel like an idiot because you're like, what am I doing? It's hard because doing more is boring. It's hard because doing more you sitting at the
computer. Like a fool. That's a good point. You feel like you're just digging deeper into being a fool by why am I doing this? Yeah. And this is that doubt starts creeping in, don't it?
And then you get a call from, your friend, your spouse, something, and they're like, hey, you want to go do this tonight? And you're like, hell yeah, I do. I don't want to do any more. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I think the do more, I like a lot of the ways he sums stuff up because I'm like, man, if you could just remember that.
What was the book again that you referred to, David?
I'll put in the chat, $100 Million Leads.
Oh, that's right.
It's a good book on getting clients. And, there's a million ways to get clients. You'll see basically like it's every way that you could get a client. And it helps you kind of figure out how you should. I'll make it easy for you. I promise you the Instagram method or the outbound method are the two things you want to do in our industry. And there will be examples of those in the book. They're done a little differently because his is broad. Ours is niche down to real estate. But yeah, I mean, do those two things. And just for everybody, it's like, what's the Instagram method? What's outbound method? So the Instagram method is where you reach out to agents on Instagram. You have to build your bio properly. You have to craft a message well. I recommend sending a video message as well. And you message them with a certain structure, basically saying like you want to engage with their posts a little bit first, follow up, that kind of stuff. But anyway, you send them an offer. Put simply, that's, hey, I'd love to do a first shoot for you for free to show you how I work and get the chance to earn your business. So that's the Instagram method. There's some nuance to it, but like you'll learn as you start to do it. And then the other thing is the outbound method, which is that, but over the phone. I said $100 lead.
$100 lead.
My bad. Hold on. I'm typing.
You know what knows? Oh, that's hilarious.
If you type in this, it will come up. $100 million leads. Or it's like 100. Wait,
it's 100M or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is.
100M.
I don't know. Hold on.
If someone can find it, correct us. We don't know. Where do you let go? You just roll it out of here.
We roll it back. It's $100 million leads. It looks like this.
Wow, you just rolled.
We got it.
There it is.
It's a great book. Anyway. All right. Let's see what else.
There's a question that Andrew on our team, someone's not able to comment, but they texted Andrew to ask, which I think is cool for him. So thank you for that, Andrew. First of all, they said, I've made progress. Andrew, let me know what their name is so we can shout out their name. But they said, hey, Andrew, I made progress. I didn't think realtors would be as hard to get a foot in the door with. Maybe Chicago is just highly competitive in this industry. Nonetheless, I made good progress with a few clients in the books and several shoots out of the way already. So I know that's more of a win, but there's a question in there too, as far as his name is Anthony. Shout out Anthony. But basically bringing up that realtors are hard to get in the door with. Maybe Chicago is just a little bit highly competitive. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. We've worked with people in Chicago as we have in most markets. And I think every market is that way. And I don't know if it's because it's highly competitive, it can feel that way. But I think the core thing is most people don't make change for no reason. So if they already have a photographer, it's a risk to try a new photographer, right? Because they have to you're showing up in front of their clients with them, and so they're having to take a risk. And so that's why, for example, with the Instagram method, I don't have like a tutorial step by step that I put on YouTube of how to do that, because so much of it is looking at how it's working and reacting to it and changing little details. And I don't mean this to be just a coaching pitch, but that is a big part of what we do in coaching. And that's why we have the coach, not just the course element, because the implementation is so important. But the point I'm getting at is it's very hard to break in if you do it wrong, and you could have to do dramatically more messages than if you're doing it right. You have to send a smaller group of messages, and that feedback loop is really important. So to your question specifically, it's hard to get clients in every market, and it's more of a scale. It's like impossible on this side, super easy on this side. How you determine where you are on that scale is by how nuanced your approach is and how dialed in it is. So how do you learn that? Well, I just talked about coaching. I'm not going to talk about that again. The other side of it is you do it and you start to recognize patterns. And so that's why volume is the approach either way. Whether you know what you're doing or not, you got to do volume. The thing you have to be careful for is you don't want to do, Chicago, there's a lot of agents, so you're good in this sense, but you don't want to message all these agents the wrong message and burn the opportunity in the future, kind of burn the lead, so to speak. So you want to do kind of test batches, see how the data is. That way you can dial in your approach before you full send it. Rod, do you think you have any context to add or anything you want to add to that?
No, just, a lot of conversation I had with people already doing this business. I'd ask them their numbers and we can figure it out together, but there wasn't really like a hard pulse on the metrics and the burn through. We'd hear people going, yeah, I messaged 1,000 people. No one replied yet, or no one said anything yet. I'm like, well, we just burned through 1,000 with a crappy message probably, or we're doing something that's not right, or where sometimes people are worried to follow up. And I like to think that agents being salespeople are almost like, where's your follow-up at? I thought you'd follow up a little bit, so it's, no, what you said was good. I was about to go on a long.
I think, well, just one thing I want to add is, the reframe is it's always super competitive. Every market is quote unquote super competitive, right? Think about it that way. And just think about that being normal. I think if you get in your head, hey, it's super competitive, it makes you do things in a different way. There's no market you can move to where it's like the clients are busting down your door. That doesn't exist. And I think a lot of times people use the saturated competitive thing as and I don't mean this directly at anybody in here, by the way.
Who you calling out, man?
Yeah, who you calling? It's like it becomes a reason why it's not working for you that makes sense, rather than what am I doing that could improve my success in getting my foot in the door, kind of thing. So I would say that. Yeah, Lee, a good point here, and I'll talk about my experience with that a little bit. Lee said the hardest part about the Instagram method is targeting the right clients. You want higher volume listing agents versus a bottom feeder that has 3 listings a year. Yes, strategically you want those clients. What I found though is the net growth of your business is going to be way faster if you don't worry about who you're targeting and hit everybody with the offer. And the reason for that is kind of 2-part. Number one, it takes time to figure out who they are. And when you're spending time figuring out who they are, you're just messaging less people. But the other thing is, it's usually the quote unquote bottom feeders in this thing that they take you up. And why is that a good thing? Well, it's a good thing because they may be a newer agent or a lower performing agent, but it starts the referral process. So a lot of our top producing clients came from referrals from clients who do 1 or 2 shoots a year. And so in my experience, the numbers that we have, from us doing it and from all the people we've gotten to work with, it is much better math wise to just target everybody. And so that would be my recommendation. Not that just to say too, I agree with your point, Lee, 100%. I don't want to shoot for the agents to do 1 listing a year, but they're a necessary step, in my opinion, if you're looking at just net growth of the business. Let's see. Dang, Rod sometimes is so still. I think he's frozen. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Right now, he could be. Rod, are you?
I'm just kidding.
My gosh, dude, I was like, because my internet's bad today. You got me full on. Okay. Lee has a good point. How do you find out how many listings an agent has? Yeah, so the most common and easily accessible way is just type in their name and then Zillow after their name, and you'll see their profile on Zillow, and it will show you how many listings they've had in the last little bit. I was gonna say I can screen share, but I don't have it set up where it's gonna be easy to do that. So anyway, yeah, you'll find it on there, and it'll be 12 listings in the last, or it'll say active listings and then how many listings in the last 12 months. Ooh, Darlene has a great question. Any thoughts on how to up the referrals? So in my opinion, there's like two buckets of this. One is less directly controllable, but very important, which is just do stuff that's referable. And that's everything you already know. Like you just got to provide a great customer experience and just really try to over deliver for every client. The more, which you want to do that, by the way, the more controllable one short term though, is basically asking. So if you have a chance to talk to an agent after a shoot, just tell them like, hey, is there anybody you know that I should be working with? I'd love to get a couple more clients in my business. So ask. And then same thing after a shoot. If they're not there, text them, hey, super great to work with you. Thanks so much. I'm really trying to get a couple more clients in my business. Like, is there anybody you know that I could reach out to that you think I should be working with? That's a bulletproof approach. If you just ask that over and over, you can do like Joanne said, and you could do rewards like $100 per, which is fine too. But I think just asking is really good. Ooh. Yeah, $100 on each side.
$15.
Yeah, $5.
50 is not 50 or 100. Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Joanne. I don't think it was meant that way when they said that, by the way. But I see the point. That's why I said quote unquote. I didn't want you to think I was saying bottom feeder. Okay. Scott said, Instagram method. How do you engage with agents prior to sending out the offer? If we target everybody, can't interact with everybody and develop a relationship before sending the offer. Yeah. So the targeting everybody is more of getting them in your pipeline. So you want to do the right process with everybody and then just repeat that as many times as you can. That's where the time comes in. So how do we engage? It's a couple-day process, I think, is what makes it work the best. So the first day, you engage on one of their posts, comment something genuine that makes sense to you on one of their posts, then follow them. The next day, you could react to a story. If they have a story live, you could comment on another post, that kind of thing. And that's kind of what you have to do. You'll notice if they engage with you back or something, have a little conversation there. But even if they don't, it's kind of like third or fourth day, send them a message. And you just repeat that process over and over. So every day you have your initial reach outs, you have your follow-ups you have to do from the days before, and then your follow-ups after you've sent the message. So yeah. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions on that.
This is a win, not a question. So
hello, I'm new here. I'm glad I was able to catch this. I'm looking to get into real estate photography. Well, glad you're here. Keep coming. Soak up the information. Go binge watch my YouTube and make it happen. Let's see.
Them dang bottom feeders.
yeah, I was like, I knew that you didn't mean it that way, Lee. So I had to clarify when they said it.
Gene had another good question too. This is another good one from old Gene.
Ooh, what are the biggest mistakes you see with people using the Instagram method?
I think you actually answered a few here now.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them I have. Number one is just not doing enough volume. Number two is doing volume wrong. And so, like spamming a ton of agents, the same message over and over. Not putting effort in is a big one. So it's like you want to be thoughtful about your message and you want to send a video to them that's like, hey, I'm Eli. I'm a new real estate photographer in the area. I'm just reaching out and I'd love the chance to just do a shoot for you to show you my work. I know I'm new to this business, but because I'm new, you're going to have my full focus and I'd love to show you how good of a job I can do for you and your listing. So anyway, if you have a listing that's on the market right now or one coming up, just let me know. And I'd love the chance to shoot it for you for free. No strings attached, just trying to get my name out there. And then you send that and then they use you a lot of times.
And I wonder if you see a lot of people back there that's like, you think of Instagram method, you think of messaging agents, you think of that's my method of marketing in my business. You think maybe some people think like it's not so serious and it's not something to take seriously. But, I think it's one of those things where it's like, nah, like that's your main driver in your business is getting, clients and knowing your numbers and how many people you message and how many you replied and how many times have you reached out and what are the numbers you're finding. Most people are going to know those numbers. Sometimes we don't even know what to track, so I think a lot of times it's just not treating it as the most important thing in your business in the beginning. Sometimes it's like sometimes they'll just do it and then they'll hop on. It's like, it's like you need to get into like a raw, disciplined regime with that thing and do it every day. And even the days you don't want to do it, you're still doing it and just get into a solid groove. And that's hard, when you're figuring it out over time or whatever, and things change today than yesterday. So it's that regime is the hard part. Yeah.
It's also, I think it's worse than hard for a lot of people. It's boring, which you wouldn't necessarily rank them in that order normally, but I think boring is more, it causes a lot more like failure, so to speak, than something that's hard does. Because boring, we just don't like to do. And I agree with what you're saying, Lee, 100%. If you practice the Instagram method daily, it becomes routine.
Routine. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you, Lee. I was like, what's that word? Routine. I'm like disciplined regime. I couldn't. I don't know.
Also, Stephanie, I saw your comment up there a little bit. I am so glad you're back to work.
Me too.
I'm so glad.
I saw your post.
What an ordeal.
Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
All right.
Are we caught up?
No, I'm lost.
Here's another one. Here's a good question from Carlos. Carlos said, how much should I deliver on a free shoot? I did photo, video, and 3D tours. Is this too much? No. It's kind of a balance on what your goals are. So if you're just starting, and this goes for anybody here that's just starting, if it's like you're really cash strapped, you probably shouldn't be offering 3D tours and video every time for free because you're having to pay for the editing. And so it's going to be really tough. And so you want to be strategic about it if you're especially if you're in like a cash poor position of like, hey, is this a high volume agent? And if it is, maybe do all that. If they've done one listing in the last year, maybe don't. The reason you do more though is not just to win their business. If you've done all of your services for them, for example, the chance that they order more stuff from you in the future is really high. Like if you just do photos, a lot of times they just order photos in the future. And so you get less average order value per shoot. Whereas if you pivot and you offer all that, you get more. So it's like, if you're in a position where you have a great full-time job, you got some extra money, you have savings, you have time, like offer it all because it's going to set you up for success in the future. Broad's smiling. I'm always suspicious when he's smiling. Look, now he's doing it worse. All right, let's find more. What? I'm trying to find another question in here. You're doing that statue thing on me again.
Yeah, no, I was so zoned in.
Here we go. What legalities are there in posting or using older shoots to add to your portfolio for showing your work? None that you really need to consider. I mean, the only thing is like you don't, it's not necessarily a legal thing for you, but like if you do a news shoot, you kind of want to wait till the listing's live to post the photos because the agent can get in trouble for marketing the house before it's officially on the MLS. But I mean, if you shoot the photos in the United States, at least, you automatically own the copyright unless you specifically gave it away. And then paying you for the photos doesn't give away the copyright. All it simply means is that they've licensed the photos from you. So yeah, post away, honestly.
All right, this is a two-parter. This is the first part.
Gave a client a free shoot. She gave me a really hard time. Some of your visions in a condescending tone. Yeah, so this is a hard one because, yeah, I mean, absolutely, there are times where you can walk away when values don't align. Just walk away. Take the high road. I always there's a kind of a frame that I would encourage you to keep in mind, and everybody, especially if you're one of those people, and you're just gonna have to like raise your hand if you are. But if you're one of those people that gets angry fast, you really got to use this one. So if you send like let's say you're firing a client in the email or having a discussion with a client, and it's this type of client. If you feel good after sending the email, if you're like, man, I really like showed them, you just paid for that with a PC or business. Like that was a bad move. If you feel like, man, that I felt so bad sending that email, like I really had to, hold my tongue, and that's a good thing. You just added to your business. You took the high road. So yes, absolutely. There's times you can walk away, and sometimes you just get that. Stephanie said, I'm also an agent. Run. You don't want their business. Yeah, agreed. Let's see.
Yeah, that's going. Yeah.
My question is what I was about to read it, but I couldn't just casually say, "Hey, big dog" to myself.
You should have. Oh man.
My question is, what automated scheduling method are you using for the relentless number of YouTube posts that pop up on my notification? Sorry, I thought this was a real question, but I see what you're saying.
I can't believe you picked that one. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was. I mean, it's very funny. I would pick it knowing what it is. I just thought it was a related question. Yeah, it's just humans posting. So we have a big team, and so we have people dedicated to each platform that post. So that's how. It's not automated. I wish it were. If it was automated, it would be great. I think that was an answer to a question. Thank you for that,
yes, Stephanie. Thank you.
Ooh, this is a good one. Yeah, Nathan said, what's the best way to get your first few meetings with agents if you have no network yet? Instagram DMs, cold calls, showing up in person. So
all three.
Yeah, I mean, all three. I would say it always have Instagram DMs as a baseline. Send your 10 a day or whatever it is. Always do that. And that Instagram method is more like farming, like you're planting seeds and they'll grow over time. Cold calls is like hunting, like you're finding an agent and you're hunting, so to speak. And so
That's good. I like
the
that.
thing
Nice.
with cold calls is Instagram method, anybody can do it right with that, not that much training. You just kind of got to figure it out. Cold calls, some people are naturally just way better at it. So if and that's where you have to know yourself. I think anybody can learn to cold call. Some people, it might be way not worth the time to learn. It might be just better to do Instagram method. And so you kind of just have to know and here's the filter though. When I said some people are better at cold calls, if you instantly said, I'm not, and the reason you think you're not, goes for anybody here. If the reason you think you're not good at cold calls is because they make you nervous, those aren't the same thing. People who are great at cold calls still get nervous. So nervous is not the filter. The filter is you do 10 cold calls or 100 cold calls and nobody takes you up. It's like, well, you probably suck at them then. And it's like, you could get better and maybe it's easy to get better, but it'd just be a better use of time to work on Instagram DMs. There's a framework I like, which is basically the definition of strategy is how you use the limited time and resources that you have when there's a million ways you could use those. So it's limited resource against unlimited opportunity. That's what strategy is. And that's why I said like anybody can become good at cold calls. It's just going to be harder for some people and take longer. And that's where strategy comes in. You have to know yourself and be like, hey, which one is for me the case? And really double down on that one.
It's a good question from Ozma. I like, at first I was like, but it's interesting thought actually.
Is it too much to give a free shoot to those who refer me as well instead of giving them a coupon? You're saying
so basically like, yeah, they're like, hey, he's like, hey, if you refer me to other people, John, I'll give you a free shoot if you refer me to other agents.
I mean, it's aggressive, and I don't mean like in an angry way. It's just like it's expensive for you.
It'll be costly. Then just to give them 50 or $100.
And I don't think you need to, is what I'm getting at. I'm all for aggressive, not rude again, but aggressive as in doing a lot of volume and like putting today's money on the line.
Paying them $50 right then and there is instant.
Yeah.
It's the time that adds up, I imagine.
It is, yeah.
But also the other side of me is like, could that lead to a $10,000 plus client?
That's
like,
always the problem. It's like it could, but then there is a genuine reason to balance. It's like, okay, the more
you can do a million things, but it doesn't mean we need to do them. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and also like generally the more short-term pain it causes, the more long-term gain, right? So like it sucks giving out a free shoot, but it's like good long-term. But like there's such a thing as just unnecessary short-term pain, right? It's like you can do it without doing that. And so I would say don't.
I know you love gear questions.
What about the 360 X5? Is it worth it or just the X3 for virtual tours? I don't think the X5 is compatible with Matterport.
The X4 is it?
Maybe, I don't know, but definitely I'd go X3. Save your money.
Yeah.
Save your money, Julian. Let's see. What do you search to find realtors on Instagram? Chris, the easiest way is you go to search hashtags and you type in like hashtag, we're in Fort Worth. So I do hashtag Fort Worth Realtor or something like that. And so that's the easiest way. And if you run out there, you can always try different hashtags, or you can find the brokerage, like let's say, Sotheby's Fort Worth, and I could go see who follows that. And a lot of them are going to be real estate agents, but I'd start with the hashtags.
But just get old fashioned PI work. Just some stalker activities, you know what I'm saying? Just that's the good stuff right there,
Oh, not even the X4
one. Go find who they're following, just follow who they're following, and then who they're following. Stalker stuff.
You need to do some Instagram method, Rod. That's
it's fun. That part's fun. I always think of the Instagram method like running on a treadmill. Like you do it every day. Some days you're doing you're doing arms, and that's your cold call. Some days you're doing legs, and that's your in person. But every day you're hitting the cardio. And that's the Instagram method. I like your seed and farming analogy a little bit better.
I don't know. I might like your analogy. I think the grass is greener under your analogy.
We'll trade them if you want.
I don't know. Let's see.
Stephanie knows. She knows what I'm talking about. Being an agent, you know how to find them, don't you?
Hey, Eli, my name is Dre, and I'm looking to start my real estate photography back up, but I don't know how to convince agents to work with me. What would you do? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff we've been talking about. So if you're joining after, definitely go rewatch that. It's not me saying I'm not going to answer, because I absolutely will. But the big picture goal here is it's not the best photographer that makes the most money. It's the best known. And so if you say, okay, if that's true, how do I become the best known in my area? And it's like, you could try to become like, post a ton on Instagram, but like that seems tough and long. It's like the easiest way is just one-on-one reaching out to realtors. So you can do that through the Instagram method. You can do that out through, outbound method, as we call it. It's the nice name for cold calling. Makes it less scary. When you don't have a large team, how do you ever go on vacation? How do you serve your clients and keep them happy? Yeah, I mean, you just need to go on vacation. Just book a shoot. Tell everybody, don't book a shoot. Book the vacation like it's a shoot. Tell everybody you're gone, and you lose some money. It's okay, right? It's the whole point of having a business is, sure, you make more money, but also you want to create, freedom and flexibility is what most people want.
And assume that they're gonna be happy still. Assume that everything will be fine. No one's gonna worry. And if someone does, you handle it then. Pop them a free shoot if you need. But chances are everyone's gonna be all right with it. Agents take
and they may use another photographer while you're gone, but it's like, that's okay. You went on vacation. That's the point. The point of having a business, like I said, is you want to make money, but for most people, at least, it's not just that, right? It's like, what's the point of the money if you're just working all the time?
And then that's also the motivation to keep growing and grow a team. So I see some students of ours in the Winds talking about how they go on 60-day vacations in Spain and the business is still running. I'm like, golly.
Yeah.
The goal is to like, all right, how can we get to that? That's next step. But that's a good question.
Aaron on our team is asking a question, relaying from somebody he talked to. Probably, let's see. Hey, Eli, what camera settings do I use for a Sony A7 III? Yeah, so it's going to be the exact same camera settings you use for any camera. And so if you watch the workflow video on YouTube, if you just type in there's one video called like my $1 million camera settings or something like that. It will walk it through specifically, but generally you're shooting on RAW, shooting on auto white balance. And the most important thing is 3-bracket HDR. So it's Rod's smiling and messed me up.
I forgot you beat me to it. He was totally joking.
He was giving me the camera settings. That was good.
You're such a good sport.
I had to. I was like, someman asked Aaron. I'm not about to leave him hanging.
That's so good.
We'll get him back. It's okay. We'll get him back for it.
Hold on, Tino. And that Constantino, I think Eli, you made a video for Tino. Tino, aren't you talking to Nikki on our team?
Here we go. Do you happen to have any sort of videos on your platforms of examples of your coaching, onboarding, or sort of orientation process for the starters I can check out? Yeah. I mean, I don't have any content on that specifically, just because as far as onboarding goes, I try to post as much value content as I can on YouTube. And if I did that, people would be like, oh, Eli's just trying to sell. And so but I'm happy to answer it. Right. So yeah, I mean, and I think I understand your question. If not, please clarify if I'm answering and you're like, Eli, that's not what I was asking. But, I mean, the first bit of it is how it works when let's say you join, right? The first thing you do is you schedule an onboarding with Allie on our team. And Allie is going to look at all the notes from your calls, know where you're at. And what she's going to do is personally onboard you into the program on a Zoom call and match you with a coach on our team. And then she will introduce you to that coach on the team. And then that coach will take over and do the same thing, jump on a Zoom call with you. And you'll have regular calls with them, and they'll help you work through the checklist, which if you're just starting, if you would be in our launch program, and that's checklisted out every week at the program. It just tells you do this, do this, do this, and do this. And so I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
But if not, clarify. Okay.
Basically the feel of the onboarding, jumping in, having that call with Allie, and Allie's the one that goes over you're going to get an overwhelming amount of access to amazing stuff. So it's just it can be inundating. So Allie just helps you sift through that, how to use the tools, where to start first. She's on the success team here. So she studies the trends of the people who do well and don't do well. And she's got that mapped out. She's probably one of the most organized people I've ever met. So you go from Allie and onboarding, and then she pairs with the coach accordingly, and she's a guru at that. And then you jump right into our checklist. You jump right.
He's scheduled tomorrow. Right?
Orientation to let's get to work. Let's go.
He's on with Allie tomorrow.
Oh wait, or are you? I think he's with Nikki tomorrow.
Oh, with Nikki tomorrow. Okay, I see.
Well, come on, let's jump in. We'll see you back there then, Tino.
Shout out to Megan on the team. Thanks for that. Appreciate
that's Nathaniel. I remember him from last week.
The memory in Rod is incredible. Not that you're not memorable, Nathaniel, but Rod remembers usernames like nobody's business.
Well, I also like video games too. So his profile is a video game controller. So
so
it's always some way to remember.
Some way to remember. Yeah, you told me that one time. I like it. Jerry, you do need a vacation, my dude. You just got to book one. The money will always be there. What is just for fun for everybody? What'd you finish? I had to look and see what month it was. What'd you finish April at? And what are you looking at for May? I know it's in the 5 figures range. I just don't know where. Let's see. Stephanie, that's very kind. I appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, any thoughts on this photo to video talk? Is it something to actually consider offering or still too early? No, it's definitely good to consider offering. REPP Video Editing, our video editing agency, is offering it already. And so we're, trying to find ways to sell it to our clients at Norman & Young. So yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely there. It's pretty cool.
I clicked off of Stephanie's compliment to you. So I'll read it because it's probably awkward to read about yourself. But good luck. I found Eli during COVID on TikTok. I've never regretted anything I've spent with the course, Vegas, Mastermind, etc. Eli changed my life. Well,
thank you for reading that, Rod. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome for reading it.
It is. I think it is pretty funny, Stephanie. Very few people find me on TikTok. We post on there, but like nobody that we get to work with.
Yeah, we even have we use that still.
Oh yeah. We post a lot. We post like too much. Maybe that's part of the problem.
15 a day.
Yeah. It's volume, guys. I'm telling you, any business, volume.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard. Tina said, I want to start posting on Instagram. So I have things clients can look at when I reach out, but I want to wait to have more professional pictures.
We'll help you with that back there too.
Yeah, we'll help you with that back there for sure. We even have like a template for what you should post and captions and everything like that. And so, yeah, we'll get you sorted out with that. No worries. Let's see. What are some apps I can download that would help me practice getting better at taking pictures? I don't think there are really any.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, just really shooting your house and friends' houses or model homes.
Practice.
Yeah. Shoot. Jerry said April finished 13.5K and this month is 9K.
7, 13 and a half. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I thought he was over 10 for sure, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And this month is so far 9K. Long days plus training a new photographer. We're going up. Might take a week off. Honestly, you're
at 9K halfway through the month, Jerry. Let's go.
On track for 18. This is the best part, guys. I got to bring this up again. I've done a video with Jerry. He came out
in your actual market. That's hilarious.
This is the cool thing. So we've gotten to work with Jerry. He's built an awesome business. He's a competitor of Norman & Young, and we're both winning. And so it just goes to show how big these markets are. And it's like, I say competitor, it's a really strong word. He's not a competitor. He's another service provider in our area. And so anyway, it's super cool. I've never purposely told him something that was untrue to steer him off either.
Yeah, go do that. It works really well, Jerry.
Be like, you know what you should do, Jerry? You should give all of your clients my phone number.
Exactly. That's the secret.
Tina said, sweet, you guys have all the answers. Thanks for making all the mistakes. I appreciate it. Yes, anytime. If you asked me that while I was making the mistakes, I wouldn't have been as happy to make them.
I didn't know Kenny released it.
What?
Or I just got my first photo to video from REPP.
It's it's released in our community is probably where Adam found it.
It's secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not REPP video is not publicly.
Is that another coaching plug?
It was, but it isn't. It's just, you know what the plug is?
I made it one.
Yeah, you made it one. Is we can only edit for so many people and still have good quality stuff. So
that's right.
Anyway, let's see. Sharon said, we found Eli during COVID on social media too. So glad we invested in the course and coaching. Went to a workshop in Texas and REPP in Vegas. Looking forward to Vegas this November. I had to read a compliment. You know, those make me shy, but thank you, Sharon. I appreciate it. I'm excited you guys are coming to Vegas
November.
again.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
This year is crazy. We have Bailey on our team. I mean, last year, that's why last year's was like a professional operation and not like the year before. But we hired Bailey like not that long before the conference. She got it all done like super short notice. And this year, it's like the planning's almost done. And I'm like, it's May. Why do we have this planned already? But anyway, that's why we have Bailey and not me doing the planning.
Coming up. Yeah, that's like only 6 months.
I mean, we just locked in the speakers. We had a meeting, Bailey, Rod, Jared, like I forget who was on it, but we locked in all the speakers. And we have a great list of speakers this year. I'm so excited for it. So
yeah,
I'm glad. Hopefully everybody, I was about to say we can send the link for people to get tickets, but it's not available yet.
Yeah,
so,
true.
You can't. So keep an eye out. Oh, nice, Stephanie. Let's see. There you go, Jerry. If I was trying to mislead you, I would have told you to do branding.
That's funny.
That's a pretty good one. That's like a slide.
Just luxury and just branding. Yep.
Yeah. For everybody that doesn't, that's not been in real estate media, it's like this tempting thing to want to do. Like agents will be like, oh, while you're at it, I know you're a videographer. Can you do like all this complicated social media stuff? And it's like the worst way to grow your business, in my opinion. Like you just want to stay with the listing media. So that's where that joke, I had to let everybody in on sort of the inside joke. Let's see.
Oh,
Hi,
nice.
Eli.
Dylan.
I'm new here and I have a call with Dylan tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I've done real estate photography back before 2010 and HDR was super new. Now I'm getting back into it again. Well, first of all, wait until you see all the changes in this industry. It is so much better now. I mean,
wow, 15 years ago.
well, yeah, and I mean 2010 was like HDR was not even hardly usable then. It was, I mean, even in 2015, it wasn't super great.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
glorious.
The other thing
walking in
you have,
now.
the other thing is you'll just be able to make more money too, because it's not just photos now, like or like it used to be, right? I mean, there's drone stuff, videos way more ordered, 3D tour, like it's a different landscape. So yeah, enjoy your call with Dylan. He's awesome. You'll enjoy that for sure. But man, welcome back to the industry. It's going to be a whole new thing than you've seen. You probably already have seen that if you watch any videos on here and stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing the math right now.
What'd you get an LLC in? I mean, yeah, it depends on where you're going to do more shoots and which one costs more, but you're probably going to have to like eventually do it in both. And just, or let me rephrase, you take one LLC and you do what's called domesticate it in the other states. You can do business there.
Yeah, and looking at is your area a good area to start with? The thing we look at is, I always look at is if someone lives less than 50,000 people within 50-mile radius or an hour driving, I get a little nervous. But you got 200, as far as last year, 279,356 people in that radius around you, David. So mathematically, you good. We've never seen anyone with less than, or we've never had anyone with more than 50,000 within an hour radius struggle unless they, didn't do what we were teaching them or whatever. So no,
yeah, it's not the
area is
market.
good. Looks good to me.
Mr. Chris.
And I've never heard of Texarkana. That's my first time ever hearing that.
Is that right?
I'm happy. Thank you for teaching me that, David.
You're not from Texas like a lot of us, huh? I guess I'm
There's
not
like
from Texas.
4,000 cities in Texas. I got 4,000.
Well, thank you everybody for being here today. This one is obviously more oriented around getting started, and so I just want to give a quick takeaway that I'd recommend if you're just getting started. It's truly going to be about your ability to learn and the stuff you learn. And so step one is like consume my content on YouTube, binge watch it, get as much ahead as you can on what you need to know. And then once you have watched that stuff, don't think that you're not ready yet. Like the next thing you have to do is just get your business going and start reaching out to clients, because that's what actually grows your business. And so stemming from that, the third thing to do is a ton of outreach once you're there. The truth is I promise you, you're never going to feel ready to do your first shoot. The only way to do it is to do it scared, as the quote says. And I love that. It's like, you're just going to have to do it scared, and that's okay, because the next one's a little less scary. And then before you know it, it's boring. And that's good, because I like boring ways to make money. You want your income to be boring, but good, right? You don't want up and down, huge wins. You want boring. And so it becomes that very quickly. And, we'd love if you are the type of person that wants to learn directly from us and to kind of shortcut the trial and error process. We'd love to talk with you if coaching could be a good fit. Mr. Rod will put the link in the chat. Just chat with our team. Even if you're like, I don't really do coaching, that's not my thing, I'd rather learn myself. Like, talk with our team, because we're not just, obviously we'd love to work with you, and our business is working with people in coaching, but our approach to everything, and you've seen that here on YouTube, is like, we want to give as much free value as possible. And that continues on the call. So jump on the call with my team. If you've already talked with them and you're like, you're not getting any progress, sometimes a push is needed. So if you're like, if you've talked to the team a while ago and like, I'm going to do it on my own, and you haven't made progress, like, my advice to you without being pushy is to think about why you haven't made progress, and think about maybe if the accountability part of coaching alone would be worth it, not just to mention, the other stuff you're going to get to. So anyway, talk to your person if you've talked to someone on my team.
If you haven't talked to us, use the link. Like Eli's saying, if you have talked to somebody on our team, just reach back out to them. Like, everyone on our team here is incredible people that we've worked with a bit now, and just tell them you want to get creative. Coaching is a big decision. Where you get coached is a big, it's a lot of trust. So it's ask questions, get creative. Like, if you're not sure you should ask a question to them, ask those questions, ask those tough questions, bring up those concerns.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't tell, but yes, no, I should tell you all that. We want to help navigate through those thoughts or those fears or those concerns. Because I think a lot of times everyone knows coaching will help. It's just not so easy to sometimes do, in financially or time-wise or this or that. But our team can help you get creative and help you navigate through that and get a plan together, at least having a plan together will help with that. So if you already spoken to somebody on the team, I was about to name them all, but the team's getting so big, it takes me like 15 minutes to name them all. But if you know who they are, and if you've talked to anybody on our team, please shout them out in the comments. They love it. Our Friday meetings, we always talk about the shout outs that are in the comments in these live Q&As, and it does warm their soul. So if you spoke to anyone, like Lena was shouting out Andrew earlier, and I saw Aaron Polakaitis in here earlier. If you've spoken to anyone on our team and want to shout them out in the comments, or want to tell them that they were mean to you and yelled at you, I'm just kidding. They don't do that.
Yeah, tell me if they did that so I can go over there.
Tell us. Just we'll it'll be fine. But yeah, no, definitely reach out to us, and we'll end it on this because I think this is a cool question from Rock. Is what books you're reading right now? I'm personally reading An Unreasonable Hospitality, which was was recommended by Justin Cyrus, who's one of our students who's crushing it, and it's kind of in the spirits of The Go-Giver. And so far, I'm liking it. I'm noticing my eyes water a little bit when I read it, so that's a good sign. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about what I'm literally reading right now, it's a book called The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. It's a great book. It's a good book for, like, if you find yourself as a business owner working too much, and you're stuck in the grind. I think it would be good for that type of person. It's good for the person that's working a job and going, I don't enjoy life. What would it look like? And so it's not just talking about like financial wealth. It's a pretty good book. So I'd recommend that. I'm only like halfway through, so maybe it gets terrible. Don't judge me on that. But anyway, well, thanks everybody. Thanks for the shout outs to the people on our team here. And it's always fun. Like I always, right before you go live, I'm like, is anybody going to show up? Like, we don't promote these lives that much. And people, so I appreciate your time. And I genuinely, it's fun for me to be around people that want to build their business, because that's like what I like to do. It's like people people ask you this, Rod, I'm sure, and like what do you do for fun? I'm like, I work on like, it is fun. I get to work with you and like our team, and this is like my hobby. And so I appreciate you all being here and allowing us to do this. And,
you're right though, man. Like a lot of, and a lot of you listening now, you might have people around you that might not just get your hustle, or they might not understand why you're trying to build a business, or they might say things that might, and it never comes from a place of like, they're being mean or what. It just comes from a place of fear and protection and just what they feel. But it's nice to be around and have everyone just, surrounding the community here, just everyone just being in the same kind of, playing field. So I was about to go on a 5-minute monologue, but I ain't going to do it. So, and friend, if you want, I'm going to pop the link here right now. We got the go now, but I'll put the link in if you want to book in with our team, and they'll be able to openly chat with you about it, see what's a fit, what's not a fit, and be able to go. I think it's good to talk about coaching, not just to try to trap you on a call and all that, but coaching is a tailored experience. It's a customizable experience. And the more we get to know you and where you're at and where you want to go, the more reverse engineering we can do to show you like, okay, this is what, there's actually a plan for this that could work. And the more we know that, the more we could show you how coaching could be tailored to that. Because it is obviously, it's matched to the person. So when we speak to y'all, we can really give you an idea of what it will feel like for you. And then, being able to make these bigger types of decisions are easier. So book on in, chat with us. We won't bite, I swear, except for Aaron Polakaitis. He bites every now and then. So just pray you don't get him.
All right. We'll see you all. Have a good evening, everybody. I like that Aaron Polakaitis jab. That's what gets paying him back for making me talk about camera settings earlier.
That's right. That was for that. Exactly.
All right. See y'all later. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon. Go book in if you haven't talked to us.
Bye, everybody.